Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. Not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because what I'm about to share is not theory, not empty words. It is a mirror that reflects the way you've been speaking to yourself every single day. And if you have the courage to change that voice inside your head, even for just 3 days, your entire reality can begin to shift. There is always a voice running in your mind. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it argues. Sometimes it repeats the same old story you've been carrying for years. And too often, that story is filled with doubt, fear, or excuses. You wake up and the first thing you hear inside your own head is, "I'm tired. I can't do this. I'm not good enough." These may sound like harmless little thoughts, but they are not harmless. They are instructions to your subconscious, commands that shape your choices, invisible threads that tie down your potential. Think about it. Your words are not just sounds, they are signals. Signals to your brain, signals to your body, signals to the way you see the world. When you repeat a phrase again and again, your mind accepts it as truth, even if it began as a lie. Say, "I'm unlucky," long enough, and you will ignore every small win. Say, "I always fail," long enough, and you will stop trying before the opportunity even arrives. But here's the truth you've been missing. The words you speak are seeds. Each thought you plant grows roots inside your mind. Speak strength, and strength begins to grow. Speak defeat, and defeat finds a way to take over. Your life today is, in many ways, the harvest of yesterday's words. Imagine two people walking the same road. One says to himself, "Every challenge is a test, and I get stronger when I face it." The other says, "Every challenge proves I'm weak." They see the same hills, the same storms, the same obstacles, but their inner dialogue creates two completely different realities. One climbs higher, one gives up. And the difference wasn't their background, their resources, or their luck. It was their words. Most of us have been careless with the way we talk to ourselves. We repeat what teachers, parents, or critics once told us. We recycle doubts from the past and treat them like facts. But they're not facts. They're habits. And habits can be changed. If you've ever wondered why you hesitate, why you procrastinate, why you hold back when you know you're capable of more, look no further than the way you've been speaking to yourself. Every "I can't," every "I'm not ready," every "it's too late." Each one becomes a brick in the wall you're building around your own future. And that wall is not built by reality, it's built by words. So let me ask you, what have you been saying to yourself? Have you been feeding your spirit strength or poisoning it with doubt? Have you been building a bridge to your dreams or digging a hole you can't climb out of? For just 3 days, I want you to pay attention. Catch the words that slip out when you're tired, frustrated, or afraid. Notice how quickly your mind jumps to, "I can't," "I'm not enough," "I'll never make it." And then, refuse to let those words stand. Replace them. Redirect them. Speak life instead of limitation. Because when you change your words, you change your beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your destiny. Science has proven what wisdom has whispered for centuries. Your brain is not fixed. It is flexible. It can be rewired, reshaped, renewed. Neuroplasticity means your thoughts are not just passing clouds. They are sculptors, carving new pathways in your mind every single day. When you speak with strength, your brain builds circuits of strength. When you speak with defeat, your brain builds circuits of defeat. Your words are not just communication, they are construction. Think about a musician practicing every day. Each note repeated sends a signal, and the brain strengthens the pathway until it becomes second nature. In the same way, your self-talk is practice. Every negative phrase is practice in limitation. Every positive declaration is practice in power. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is clever. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It shows up as hesitation, as be careful, as wait for the right time. Fear wears the mask of logic, but underneath it is simply a thief of dreams, a thief of opportunities, a thief of time you will never get back. Fear convinces you that you're not ready, not strong enough, not smart enough, and the more you listen, the stronger it grows. It collects evidence from your past mistakes and plays them back like a broken record. It multiplies in silence until it becomes the loudest voice in the room. But here's the secret. Fear loses power the moment you move. Action is the antidote. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most powerful. Because the moment you act, fear begins to shrink. You realize the monster was never as big as it looked in your imagination. You discover the wall was just a shadow. Every successful person you admire has felt fear, but they chose to walk forward anyway. They didn't wait for fear to disappear. They refused to let fear lead. That is the difference. Now, beyond fear lies something even more dangerous: limiting beliefs. These are not sudden storms. They are silent prisons. Beliefs like, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'll never catch up. They don't shout. They sit quietly in the background, guiding your decisions, lowering your ceiling, cutting your wings before you even try to fly. Imagine an elephant tied to a small rope as a baby. It pulls and pulls but cannot break free. Years later, the elephant grows strong enough to uproot trees, yet it never tries to escape. Why? Because it remembers the rope. It remembers the struggle. It believes the limit is still there. Humans are no different. We carry the rope of old words, old judgments, old failures. We let them tell us what is possible, even when reality has changed. But the rope is not real anymore. It only exists in the mind. If you keep telling yourself you're not good with money, you will avoid opportunities to learn wealth. If you keep saying you're not confident, you will walk into every room as if you don't belong. If you keep declaring you're unlucky, you will overlook every small door that opens in front of you. Your belief builds your filter, and your filter shapes your world. So the question is this: what rope is holding you? What belief have you accepted without question? Whose voice are you still carrying inside your head? Because the moment you challenge it, the moment you ask, who says, the cracks begin to show. And once cracks appear, the wall cannot stand forever. So how do you break the cycle? How do you cut the rope of limiting beliefs and silence the whispers of fear? The answer is simple, but not easy. You must reprogram your mind. You must take back control of the conversation happening inside your head. Think of your mind like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, it will grow. Plant weeds of doubt, you harvest insecurity. Plant seeds of strength, you harvest confidence. The soil does not decide, it simply responds. And your mind is the same. This is where the 3-day challenge begins. For 3 days, I dare you to become the guardian of your words. Day 1. Remove the poison. Catch every negative phrase before it takes root. When you hear yourself say, I can't, stop and replace it. When you whisper, I'm not ready, correct it immediately. No excuses, no exceptions. Day 2. Speak new life. Replace the old with the new. Instead of, I'm terrible with people, say, I'm learning to connect. Instead of I'm unlucky, say, opportunities find me every day. Instead of I'm weak, say, I'm getting stronger with every challenge. It may feel strange at first, but remember, practice builds pathways. Day 3. Prove it with action. Words alone are powerful, but when paired with action, they become unstoppable. Take one small step that aligns with your new declaration. If you said, I'm disciplined, then keep a promise to yourself. If you said, I'm courageous, then do the thing you've been avoiding. If you said, I'm ready, then stop waiting and start moving. One step is enough to turn belief into reality. At the end of 3 days, something shifts. You begin to see yourself differently. You begin to trust your own words. You realize that the conversation in your mind is not background noise. It is the steering wheel of your destiny. This is why the most successful people protect their self-talk. They don't allow careless words to escape their lips. They don't say, "I'll try." They say, "I will." They don't say, "Maybe someday." They say, "Day one starts now." They understand that the future bends in the direction of their words. So let me speak directly to you. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. It never will. But you don't need it to. You just need to move anyway. Tell yourself, "I am stronger than my doubts. I am greater than my past. I am powerful beyond measure." Say it again. Say it until it feels real. Say it until your body straightens, your voice steadies, and your spirit rises to match your words. Because when you change your words, you change your focus. When you change your focus, you change your choices. When you change your choices, you change your life. 3 days. That's all it takes to begin. 3 days to rewire your mind. 3 days to silence fear. 3 days to build the foundation of a winner. And once you taste that power, once you see who you can become, you will never want to go back. You will never again settle for less than the life you were meant to live. Talk to yourself like this, not with doubt, not with fear, but with fire, with conviction, with the voice of the champion you are becoming. The world is waiting for you, and your destiny is listening to the words you speak today.